I am here in Medjugorje next to Our Lady, and I'm with, what's your name?
Cheryl McCoy.
And?
Kyle.
Wow. You said for you second time?
Yes, I came here in 2007,
Yeah.
right after my mom died, and wasn't expecting. I was pregnant, 12 weeks pregnant, and I came here praying for a little girl so I could name her after my mom. And I got a little girl, and I named her after my mom.
Did you say thank you to Mommy?
I did.
Good.
And she's back here with me on this trip, and we climbed Cross Mountain and Apparition Hill, and we did everything
Wow.
together. Yeah,
There is the father of the child.
that's the dad.
Yeah.
That's me.
And we talked about happy marriage is to stay together. What's the secret?
Don't get divorced.
As simple as that. But it seems not so simple. Why is it not so simple?
Well, there's lots of challenges, and we've had lots of challenges.
And how did you, we all have them, how did you manage the challenges in the marriage?
Well, if you don't have the option of leaving, then you work it out.
Beautiful. That's it, no? You pray the rosary together?
Yes.
You always did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah,
How
we
does that
did.
come?
Yeah.
Regular
Not-
people don't do that anymore in this world.
yeah, we do it. Well, not every day.
But we used to do it
Yeah, we used to do it
when
more.
we first got married.
Yeah.
Then we got a little slack. We got a little bit slack,
It's,
but we're getting better at it again.
It's a roller coaster.
Like for everybody know, this is a roller coaster life. And before getting married, did you ask God, send me the partner? Thy will be done, kind of. Send me the
Well,
partner, send me
I'll
the
tell
right
you.
person.
Yes.
We were at university,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw him one day in university. We didn't know each other very well at the time, but for some reason, after we walked away from each other, this feeling just came over me, and I was like, it was like God said, "That's your husband." And it was a long, we weren't even dating or anything at the time.
And for you?
I don't think you find the right person. I think you make the right person. It's hard work. And,
Make,
yeah, she's the
how do
right
you
person.
make the right person?
Just work at your marriage every day.
But when you met her, did you feel kind of the same, or after some
Oh
meetings
yeah.
that's the one?
I did. Yeah.
Was it kind of simple? Because sometimes it's complicated. You meet a person, it's getting complicated. Or,
Yeah, everything's up and down and complicated, and sometimes you feel more or you feel less or you're upset, but you do that, you work on that together, and that's how you become the right person.
wow, that's so beautiful. And you were both cradle Catholics all the time?
Yes, we're both raised Catholic.
No doubts? Went astray?
Never.
Never. Must be strong parents.
There's always
Yeah.
our priest just told us a sermon, a homily about having certain, like, you sometimes might doubt this or doubt that, but the one thing you don't never doubt, or that we never doubt, is the Eucharist, and so you always have your Holy Communion to come back to ground your faith.
Wow. And what is the Eucharist? A lot of people don't understand anymore in the West.
What is the Eucharist? The body of Christ.
The living presence. But
Simple as that?
His way of staying with us here on earth.
The manna, which the Jewish people had in the desert, we have it as well in our desert journey. And our church is a church of order. We can receive the Eucharist when we are in a state of grace. You went to confession here, you go regular,
did.
and you are shining, you are laughing about it, but a lot of people are fearful. What do you tell them?
It is hard sometimes to go, but you're not. I'm preparing some kids back home right now for first confession. And in simple terms, I kind of tell them that when you go in there, you're looking at your priest, but it's like he takes Jesus's ears and he puts Jesus's ears on, and it's actually Jesus listening to your confession. The priest is representing Jesus, and the priest's hands are so special. When you're in the confessional, it is your priest, but it's Jesus' hands working through your priest to give you absolution. Yeah.
And for man, what do you say? Like 20 years, a man come here and not confess, scared to go.
Well, most fear is about the unknown, but forgiveness is certain if you ask for it. And so that's all you have to do is just ask for it. The hardest part is maybe not saying your sins out loud, because then you have to face them yourself.
Amazing.
And forgive yourself.
Yeah. Hard for you to forgive yourself?
Of course, that's probably the hardest part. Yeah.
Monsignor Rossetti, maybe you heard about this exorcist, he's on the internet. He said in the ministry he observes the hardest part is to forgive themselves what one did. And why are you so passionate, peaceful, joyful? You seem totally in tune with the Catholic faith. Never doubted, it seems.
Well,
was it your parents?
I mean, it's not that we've never gotten angry or anything at God. Like, things happen and sometimes you'll question things, but my mother was so rooted and strong in her faith. She was just such an example. And Kyle had examples in his family the same.
It seems like when I look at you, both of you total centered,
And,
you
well,
know.
we had good priests, I think, growing up. Like, we didn't grow up in the same community, but that makes a big difference. And I don't know, we just
You have the rosary here.
yeah, actually.
You pray together the rosary,
Yeah.
and it's difficult for you to pray because something very intimate, intimate.
We just got a rosary for married couples. Just that was
Today it
given
was a
to us,
gift.
our gift. It's our anniversary today, so.
Wow, how many years?
31 years.
31.
We have 3 boys, 1 girl, 2 granddaughters, and another one on the way.
You don't look like your grandparents. You know? You look young.
No,
Is it the Holy Spirit?
I hope so.
How can you have the Holy Spirit? You have it. You have this gentle peace, joy. It's all this balance, gentle peace and joy. They say Our Lady, you can see in the eyes of the pilgrims, in the kindness, in the
Well, that's
peace.
probably being here, because when you go back in the real world, it's not as easy to have this peace, but it's easy to have while you're here.
Peace comes from surrendering. So it's easy to surrender here, but then when the battle is going on, it's harder to surrender.
So you do that? You surrender, say, Thy will be done, and Our Father? In daily life you try?
Yeah.
What do you tell people experience? Do you make same experience? That you have the same problems, same challenges, everything, but there's a living God, and you can see His hand when you slow down and you say, Thy will be done. You made that experience, God incidents like we meet now. Actually, for you too, the same?
Well, recently, actually, we were living away for a while, and I got interested in this lady, Vasula Ryden. She, I forget what it was called, but she was writing those journals, and she was talking about having a personal relationship with Jesus, and including Him in everything that you do, and taking Him everywhere. And I actually really did try to start practicing that, and like wake up in the morning and just recognize Him right away, and I try to talk to Him during the day as though He really is with me. And no matter what, whether I'm house cleaning or doing stuff, it'll be like, okay, now we're going to do this, or now we're going to do that. I don't always do it, but I try to. I want to do that more.
And did something change while you were living in that intention?
You're offering up your day to God.
So, but you must have made an experience of God the Father. A lot of people think it's an angry old man with a white beard, waits for a mistake and sends us to hell. A lot of people think that. But you don't surrender your will freely to a God like this. You say no. A lot of people say thank you when you start talking about God. Look at that. Today we got a special singer here in the background. But do you have like, did you make experience of God the Father that is good? Everything is for the good.
You take that.
You know, I think that there's joy in everyday life in the plain things. Not, you don't have to have a big sign or a life-changing experience or something about just everyday life and going, experiencing that every day that gives you joy.
Like St. Teresa said, the little things. So
Done with love are the big things.
Yeah, and what woman likes to do housework. I don't like it, but when I go to start it, every time now I say, okay, St. Teresa, it's in the little things, so be with me today in everything that I do, and it makes my work easier. It really does. Just offer
I
all
love
that
housework.
Second.
He's
I love
lying.
housework.
He's lying.
Now it's coming out. I knew it will come out. Just kidding.
Just, offer
Yeah?
everything, all those little things up. Making your bed, cooking supper. Try to offer it up. And when you don't, things are harder. Yeah.
Do you want to say hi to Ray?
Hi, Ray.
Hey,
He's on
Ray.
our pilgrimage with us. We
Ray
just
is
met him.
here. Look, here's Ray. Ray, did you sing right now? Were you the guy who was
Were
singing?
you singing?
Look, he has the joy as well. That's Medjugorje, the Medjugorje smile. Ray has it as well.
And where are you from?
I'm from Germany. And we talk later. I finished the interview with them, Ray, okay? There we go.
Oh,
And so who is God the Father? He's not the angry old man.
no. God the Father? Who is God the Father?
How is it for you? How you would describe
Well, he gave
God the
us
Father?
his son so that we could get into heaven. He gave us his only son.
Are you fearful of God the Father? Bit mysterious? Talk to
Yes.
him?
Yes,
Yeah?
definitely fearful. Which is why, we try not to stray, because even though he's a loving God, he's also a justful God.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to spend all my time in purgatory after I die. I'd rather, his grandfather, I believe, and my mother would say, like, do your time in purgatory here.
Yes.
Not,
My great
not
grandmother
there.
said the same thing. Easier here, it takes much longer in purgatory.
Yeah, it takes much longer in purgatory. Yeah.
Wow. So the goal is to be full of love?
The goal is to get each other to heaven and to get our children to heaven.
So it's maybe somebody listening is not Catholic. How do you get to heaven? What do you have to do?
The 5 stones of Medjugorje.
What are they?
Fasting, Mass, the rosary, adoration. I'm forgetting one, don't
The
tell
Bible.
me. The Bible. He's very good at the Bible.
You
way
read the
better
Bible?
than me. He listens
say-
to it every night before he goes to bed.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, he's on like round 3 or something now.
Yeah. I don't want to
Go
discuss. I don't want to discuss bed.
Wow. But you have to they say you should have the center of the house, you should have open Bible.
We do. It's at our front door when you walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah.
And what is so beautiful about the Catholic faith? You are totally in peace, happy.
What is so beautiful about the Catholic faith? Well, I don't know. I feel like our families gave us the gift of the Catholic. It's what you're born into.
Mhm.
Jewish people have the
Jewish
Jewish faith. We were fortunate enough to be born into Catholic families, and
A lot of people say that. It's actually true. It's a gift that
Yeah.
we were born into a Catholic family.
yeah.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Is that tough for you?
Well, it's tough for me, but I mean, you asked what's beautiful about Catholic religion, and forgiveness is a big
That
part
God
of that.
forgives us.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's part of what you said about the misconception about the angry old man. That the power of our faith is that it's not that there's someone ready to condemn you; it's that there's someone ready to forgive you.
It's a loving God.
Yeah.
Wow. You made that experience in your life?
Yeah.
I can see it in you. You have this gentleness, that peace. And what would you tell people who can't forgive? There are a lot of them. They can't forgive.
There's a lot of people that can't forgive. What would your advice be to people who can't forgive?
I guess you have to understand that there's something in you that can make you do bad things. We all have it.
Yeah.
And so you have to see that in other people and see Jesus in other people. And when you look at a person like that, it gets easier to forgive them.
That's true. No?
And you have
For
to
you.
ask God for the grace to be able to forgive.
And you talk to Jesus. Our center is personal relationship. You talk to Jesus like a friend. You say, "This is on my
Yes.
mind.
Yeah.
Look, I have to do the housework.
Yes.
Don't
Come
want to do
with
it."
me. Yeah.
It becomes easier then? It's a living God, He's with you?
Yeah. He's a friend.
How
You
did
have
you
to treat him
experience
as a friend.
How did you experience that?
Well, so many different ways, just by reading about visionaries, by being at Mass, by learning about your faith, that Jesus,
Your marriage.
by,
Say that again, I didn't
your
God
marriage.
is present in your
In
vocation.
marriage.
Yeah, and your
Did you
vocation.
did you see that, like when you got married in the church, that something happened, that you got more graces, or
I guess it's just through living every day. Sometimes she is like the angry old man.
really? I didn't.
Sometimes she's forgiving.
Maybe self-protection. Call it psychology. Self-protection he's doing. Boom, boom.
See? Now,
You see?
we'll have to go to confession again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but it's the secret. Somebody said it's a good friendship. You
It is.
seem to be good friends. The secret of a marriage.
I told,
Yeah.
well, he's a good dancer, and I teach
Wow.
dancing, so he's a very good dance partner. That's probably
Man,
what
you
hooked
win
me.
every woman.
That's what hooked me in first, for sure. Yeah. Hey?
Well, not many men who dance good, no? Like, wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Same faith, same humor.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I always tell my Sunday school kids too, the first day I always tell them, Jesus wants to be your best friend. And he loves you and he wants to be your best friend. And I feel like that's just so important for them to understand. He just wants to be your best friend. Yeah.
And he gives signs through a book. Somebody calls you, like we meet now.
Yeah. Well, I saw you, Tom. I was so excited to see you, and I wanted him to meet you.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, God delights. When you delight in God, He grants the wishes of the heart.
Yeah, well, you give me lots of joy because I listen to you when I'm driving to work, when I'm driving home from work, and when I'm making supper in the kitchen. I have your testimonies on, and they're beautiful. Your testimonies, the people that you speak to, like, it's really motivating, you know, and
And it's Our Lady. You know?
it made me more excited to come here because, like, listening to all them before I came, it was like it got you excited for the trip even more than I already was by listening to all the testimonies.
And you see, you're just sitting here. Don't think about that when
Yeah.
you're sitting here.
Oh, you're doing a great job. You really are.
You know, before I couldn't take the compliments. When we
Yeah.
met at the beginning, my brother said, somebody came made a compliment and said, man, he's annoying me. My
Yeah.
brother said, like, look, he's just giving you a compliment. But if you never received kind of compliments,
Yes.
it's strange. What does the guy
Yeah.
want?
Yeah.
You know?
No, you do a
It's
really
healing.
good job. You really do. I really
I love it.
enjoy your videos.
It's the little things done with love, you know?
Yeah.
That's the secret. I just love doing it.
Ah,
It's
that's
not
so
boring,
nice.
it's fun, it's nice to listen, to discover people, you know?
Yeah.
And you use your talents, because Jesus said, use your talents. I found my languages now I'm using. Before I was a broken person, I was broke outside, broken inside. And now I found this, I use my talents, the language, everything what my father invested in, my parents. You feel you do that too? Jesus said, use your talents. It's
Well, my-
enthusiasm, what you really love doing.
My mother would
Nema problema.
Nema problema.
show off.
Ah. Grayson, by the way, it means
Yeah.
no problem.
I grew up in a musical family, and my
Yeah.
mother would always take us to, like, seniors' homes and places like that to entertain. And she would always, if we were angry or upset or we didn't want to go or didn't want to listen to her, you know, she would be like, God gave you talents and they are not for you. They're to share with other people. So get in the car.
Wow.
But she was very, you know, everything you have is from God and you need to give back.
Actually, it's the first time I asked this in an interview. I think it's important. Ask yourself out there, are you using your talents? Are you
Yes.
burying them in the ground? It's a very serious thing, actually, Jesus said, no.
Yeah,
It's like, you use it? I think you use it, no? You're in peace.
he definitely uses his
I just,
talents.
yeah.
I don't know what he would consider.
You feel in your element, you enjoy, you're in your element. Basically,
Yeah.
it means being in your element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. God says, I am who I am. We should be honestly, I am who I am. Wow, he's a dancer. Now I understand. Does he cook well as well?
Breakfast. He's good at cooking breakfast.
Wow, you
Yeah.
got the jackpot, huh? And you have a favorite spot in Medjugorje you like?
What was your favorite spot?
Probably Cross Mountain.
Because it's your first time, yeah? You go
Yeah.
tomorrow. What do you take out of this journey? You have already something which was given to you here, or what you got as a revelation?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to do my penance, say the rosary every day.
What you did
Wow.
before, no?
Yeah, I brought my grandfather's rosary ring that he gave me,
Wow.
and so I brought that with me, and now I'm going
Now you're
to have
committed.
to make sure I don't miss any days.
And when you go back now to Canada, what do you tell people? They will ask you, how was it?
I'm not sure what.
Well, it's not, you have to settle in,
I
maybe.
think the way to describe it to people is just to talk about the stories,
The
and
fruits.
you can describe things that happened to you or things that you saw.
Beautiful. And for you, the second time, what do you take out of this journey now?
Very thankful to be able to come back for sure, and yeah, just really Thanksgiving. It was kind of a Thanksgiving trip.
This is
Yeah.
high spirituality if you can have a thankful heart.
Yeah,
Think about it out there. Are you thankful for the little gifts we receive?
yeah.
And you know, a lot of parents are worried in these days to raise children in the Catholic faith. What would you tell out of your experience?
You
What
have
is
to
good
pray
to
for
do?
your kids. You just have to pray and pray and pray for your kids every day. You do your best, and then they walk out the door, and they have to make their own choices, and you have to pray that they make good choices.
And how is it for you? You know, I was with a friend in a restaurant. He has a little boy. He went outside on the street, and I was totally fearful. No, he let him. You are fearful when they go out. They go away. How is it for you? Are you?
You have
You
to
are,
trust in God, but you also have to have common sense.
yeah.
Yeah. What would you say?
Yeah, you're always concerned just about safety and well-being. But
Yeah.
you have to surrender.
Yeah, you have to
Surrender is
surrender.
the
No?
key.
That's what I thought. I would
Give
have
them
to
to
surrender.
God. Yeah.
Give them to you. Do that. Yeah, I think you can do that quite good, both of you. No, you have that foundation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's good to you try to be a good role model, even when maybe you're not feeling it. You just have to just be it. Be a
Wow.
good role model,
And
even
yeah.
if you're not.
The one who is mastering himself, he's ruling the world. Isn't that written in the Bible somehow? We men have to learn that, especially these days again, I think. But you are an example for it. It's very, very beautiful. See? What can I say? You two, that I met you two again. She
Yes.
first, and
Yeah.
then came.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Tom.
Same with me.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank
that
you so
beautiful
much.
interview.
Yeah,
Say anything
thank
here? You want to greet somebody in? I want to say America.
Oh.
America. No, that's Canada.
Well, my sisters watch
Yeah.
your testimonies as well. They were here a year ago for
Wow.
the second time. I was here with them when I first came, so I'll say hi to Evie and Mark.
Wow. I say hello and thank you for
And
watching
to
the
our
videos.
kids, to our kids, yeah.
All of them. You said one is here, no?
Our daughter's here with us, yeah.
The one you said
That I
thank
was
you for.
expecting when I was here with her before.
Wow. And what does she say now? Being how old is she now?
She's turned 19 here on Tuesday.
And what does she say about the experience?
What does Anne say about this experience?
Can you?
I think she's
Are you allowed
really-
to say something?
I don't know. We haven't. I don't think we'll really understand until we get home.
Yeah.
But she's definitely had a very good week and enjoyed herself for sure. Yeah, and she's made some really good friends this week. We had some other
Other young people on the.
yeah, there was another family with us, and we became really good friends with them this week. They've been a gift. Yeah,
Imagine maybe a new families coming out of this.
yeah.
Brought together in Medjugorje. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe.
Life is God is an adventure. St. John Paul II said, "It's an adventure." You think life?
Yeah.
You enjoying life?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What do you
Yes.
tell people who maybe who don't enjoy at the moment life? how can they get through the tough times?
There's some people that have pretty tough times that I wouldn't know how to tell them because
Kyle's good at finding the good in everything. He's a very positive person. Hey, you are.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
well,
He never complains. He gets up and he goes. He just looks forward.
That's maybe people. I hear a lot of women. They want to find a Saint Joseph. That's maybe a Saint Joseph quality.
Yeah.
Wow. It's beautiful to be with you. I can, it's for me. It's amazing to bath in your nice charism, talking to you. It's really. So, anybody else you want to greet?
just my family and friends back home. Yeah.
Everybody back in Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, Mabu.
We love you. Thank you for watching the video, sisters.
Don't forget to like and subscribe
To the channel,
to Tom.
exactly. First time I say it in a testimony. Actually.
Click that subscribe button and like for Tom.
What can I say? Thank you so much for that beautiful interview.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.